Okay, I've seen many people say that you should only buy Glaive if you notice enemies with more than 100 magic defense. Well, after doing the research, this item is even more insane than I thought. It's safe to say that almost every ML player has bought the Divine Glaive before, but have you ever wondered, is this the right time to be buying it? Would Holy Crystal have been a better choice, or would buying Genius Wand instead help me to burst down that fanny and win me that 30-minute game? That's what we are here to find out today. The Divine Glaive costs 1,970 gold to purchase and gives you 65 magic power, which means it's below average in terms of magic power per gold efficiency. However, it provides a unique and powerful effect called Magic Penetration, which really compensates for that. Now, many players know that Magic Defense helps to lower incoming magic damage, and Magic Penetration helps to counter that effect. But many people don't actually know exactly how much these items will help you. I was actually one of those people before I did the research. In Mobile Legends, damage is calculated with a formula which accounts for a variety of factors, including the enemy's defense stat and your corresponding penetration stat. A higher magic defense stat will reduce any incoming magic damage that the defender receives. Magic penetration is basically the counter to this, as it ignores the enemy magic defense. Now, I should be clear that there's a distinction to be made between ignoring and reducing enemy magic defense, but that will be covered in another video. Okay, but how much exactly does magic defense and penetration help? Running the damage formula, we can see that magic defense, even at low amounts, can disrupt your damage dealing capabilities significantly. Well, thankfully, there is Divine Glaive, which is the perfect counter item to that. It gives 35% magic penetration at base and grants an additional 0.1% magic penetration for every point of magic defense the enemy has, up to a maximum of 20%. This passive is maximized when the enemy has 200 magic defense or more. Since it's based on percentage, the amount of penetration that Glaive gives is entirely dependent on the amount of magic defense the enemy has. If, say, the enemy's active magic defense stat is at 0 or lower, you literally paid about 2k gold for an item that gives you only 65 magic power and nothing else. By comparison, you could have bought this wand and this book for only 1.1k gold and have 60 magic power instead. The good thing is that almost all heroes start with 15 magic defense and usually end up with around 30 to 40 magic defense when they hit max level. If they bought magic defense items, this number of course goes higher. This just means you will almost always get value from Glaive's passive effect. Since magic penetration is basically ignoring magic defense at a 1-to-1 ratio, there is no need for any massive formulas. We just have to apply it in the opposite direction to find out how much effect it has. The entire blue area is basically the penetration effect of the Divine Glaive. Okay, let's visualize it a bit better. This is how much damage you can do to an enemy without magic defense items. And this is how much you would do if he has 54 magic defense. Yep, he just has to spend 660 gold and your damage takes a shit. Now this is how much you would do instead with Glaive. So now we already can see Divine Glaive helping when the enemy has magic defense. Well, if it's that good, shouldn't I just buy it as my first item, you might ask? If we go back to the chart, you can see that although penetration helps even at low amounts of magic defense, the effect isn't as large as when your enemies have more. Naturally, Divine Glaive would help at later parts of the game when enemies have bought more defense or gained some true levels. But how much more, and at which point should I buy it then? To have a full perspective, we have to take into account the full spectrum of things we should consider when deciding what to build. Firstly, of course, there are other items out there that may or may not be better than the Divine Glaive at any point of the game. Secondly, we only have 6 item slots, which means there is a problem of space. And lastly, we have to take note what our enemies are building, since more magic defense will push the Glaive's value up. Okay, so let's take this scenario. You're playing Kagura and have a very standard burst build. Clock of Destiny at full stacks, Lightning Truncheon and Arcane Boots. We're at mid game and you're level 11. Usually, Holy Crystal is the next item in most players' builds, but is that really the right option? So I calculated the full combo damage of Kagura based on the following parameters and compared each item's damage potential based on what you will buy next. Okay, are you ready? Here is a diagram showing the results of the calculations. Glaive competes with Holy Crystal in damage at around 46 magic defense, and Genius Wand at around 52. After around 52 magic defense, Glaive gives you more damage than the other two options. So no, you don't have to wait until enemies have 100 magic defense to start considering the Glaive. half that is actually enough to put it on par with its competition. It isn't uncommon for your burst targets such as the marksman or mage to purchase the tough boots to counter your early magic burst damage. At mid-game, together with tough boots, you can expect their magic defense to be at around 45 to 50. Against such clever enemies, I would argue the Divine Glaive is a pretty good option as it performs roughly similar to that of the Genius Wand or Holy Crystal at 45 magic defense. But you could do significantly more damage to enemies who have built even beefier magic defense. Of course, if your enemies decided not to build magic defense, feel free to exploit that and go for the Genius Wand or Holy Crystal to nuke them to oblivion. But now you say, hey, isn't this just for Kagura? What if it's another mage? Okay, sure. Let's take a look at Lilia then. Let's imagine you are playing Lilia at mid-game with her standard build: Magic Shoes, Enchanted Talisman, and Icewind Wand. As we can see, the results are approximately similar. Glaive competes with Holy Crystal around 40 magic defense and with Genius Wand at around 50. So let's go back to the questions we have at the start of the video. When is a good time to buy Glaive, and would other items have been better? Well, basically, you should consider Glaive anytime enemies start building magic defense, and you don't have to wait until 100, as Glaive is a competitive item even at around 50 magic defense. And of course, it would be a far better item when you want to do damage to enemies that have way more than 50. Please let me know if you found the video useful by liking the video and subscribing. If you have any questions or want to recommend me a topic to find out about, do let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.